Okay, in this video, guys, I want to show you some of the resources available to you on the Heinemann webpage for the units of study we're using. I already have an account, but if not, you can go and you can create your account on Heinemann. Pretty easy. Let me try to find just the main. And if you do, well, I can't figure out how to do it right now, but if you don't have an account on Heinemann, then it's real easy to do. And it's something I highly suggest you do. We can load all of the units of study onto your resources, but there's some really great resources online that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I will come and help you if you need to, and I'll even help you register your material. But I wanted to kind of show you some of the resources. Now, first of all, I want you to know I have tons of them, but I want to show you the resources that we have for reading and the ones we have for writing. So what we're about to embark on is the units of study for teaching reading grade 5. And in the unit itself, there are a few different things. First of all, there are 4 units. So you'll see Unit 1, which is interpretation book clubs, analyzing themes, which is the one we're about to do. Then there's tackling complexity, which is nonfiction. There's argument and advocacy. It's debatable issues. The Conroe puts this one last. And then there's the fantasy book clubs, the magic of themes and symbols. There's also an if-then curriculum for some things that we need to cover that aren't necessarily in the units of study. Conroe has actually created their own and written them the same way. There's a guide to readers workshop, intermediate grades, and then there's what's called learning progressions. We're not there yet, so we're not going to spend a lot of time looking at that yet, but we will get there. And then there's some Spanish language resources, and there aren't as many, but there's the teaching points for the reading units. There's some mentor text lists. There's some assessment, and then there's some charts that are actually written in Spanish. So you don't have to go ahead and translate everything, even though I know that Conroe ISD has spent a lot of time translating it. So there also are the author sticky notes you should have found in your kit. There's some sticky notes in there. You can also print them if you don't have them. It's the little charts that I've been putting online. So so those are there. You can order extra ones. We don't need to order them. I'm going to go ahead and close that one. There's some general information. So there's a video orientation of the units of study for teaching reading. That is one of the things I'm going to add that you guys can watch. And then there's the reading pathways, which we are going to talk about, but not right now. They've added some stuff for virtual teaching. And then they have recommended books, and they have office hours. You can actually ask them questions. And so they have a bunch of stuff in there for you to look at. And some of it we'll look at together, but not yet. And then you get into your units. So we're about to do Unit 1, which is interpretation book clubs. The way they have this set up is they have all the main anchor charts here. These are the ones that we've been using for Up the Ladder. Let me open them for you. That's not what I wanted to open. Sorry, my technology. But it'll be, so the first thing we're going to be doing is writing well about reading. They show you how it's set up. They show you what session you're going to use them with. But they do have them all there that you can print or whatever. Another thing that they have that's kind of cool is they have a single page of them. So if you do want them to be in your student's reader's notebook, then all you have to do is print out the page and all of them are there, which is kind of cool. Then they have the assessments. This is the actual assessment that we did. There is a way for students to do rubrics on those. We haven't done those yet. We might choose not to do them for this one. It's a lot. But they actually read their questions one by one and they rate themselves level 3, level 4, level 5. It's really a neat activity. I actually might do a video showing you how to do that if you're interested. And then you get to session 1. So then after that, each session is broken down and all the materials you need are on here. I've been kind of adding them for you, which I'll continue to do, but I didn't want you to know them, that they were here. So they talk about in session 1, making this year be the best, suggestions for making this year be the best. This is their chart. You can use their chart. You can create your own. They also have a lot of figures in here of student work that you can either show your kids or that you can just have in mind. The first thing that they do in session 1 is make goals for themselves. So they make goals and they make a plan. So they give you some different examples of way kids do that. You can show your kids, or you can just have it for reference material. And then they also have added homework for each one. I'm not sure. We didn't choose to do a lot of this when I've done this work before with other campuses, but they do give you some homework that you can print out for each session. And it tells them, like, this is what we did in class. This is what I want you to do tonight. And they do it, and then you have it. So that's something that you can also do. And they have that for each one. Session 2 has a reading log. There's writing about reading galleries the kids are going to use for that lesson. So everything's there. And then they even give you some writing about reading exemplars, so you can kind of see and show the kids what they're going to do for this session. So they have this for each one. They have charts, they have figures of kids' work, they have videos the kids can watch, and they're all in here. When I was talking to you on Friday, I was talking to you about what Mitchell had done as far as when we shared this work last year. And what we had done, let me go to my drive here. Sorry, technology is not my strongest. What we did is we decided that we were going to create kind of our slides that we could share with each other. And then some teachers use them actually to share with their class, because all the charts were on there, and it's a good way to do that. Let me see if I can find session 1. Here, session 1. So I'm going to show you kind of what we did. I'm going to share all these with you. I'm putting them all together, but it's kind of neat to see. It's exactly the stuff that's on the Heinemann website, but what they did is they just named it and they put some pictures for the kids, but they also had it where it was available for the teachers. So the teachers could go back and review the sessions, because they planned a bunch of sessions up front. And then they wanted to, my computer's being excessively slow. So they have session 1, then you're talking about, and they also typed into the notes section the different things that you have. So they're talking about what is their goal of reader. This is their lesson. Then they have the students read. And then they actually have the examples of those goals. Some of them chose to use that, and so they would just go to it. And then some of them, and they also had that chart. Some of them decided to make their own, but they also put it on here so that if they wanted to, when the teacher made a copy and made it for their class, if they wanted to show the kids, it would already be on there. And they did this for every session. This is how they shared the stuff with each other, and also how it made it easier to find the charts that they needed. But again, all the charts and all the stuff is right here as well. They also have in here, so these are the other lessons. They also have in here the Guide to Readers Workshop. And this is where some of those charts that we saw in the last one, like the Readers Workshop goes this way. You've probably seen this chart a million times. And this is like that happy face that we saw in the, but it's a way to show it to the kids. They also have charts. Like if you're coaching readers, so you want them to give you more example, you can have them say more. What about one? Oh, explain that to me. But it's also kind of a way for you to teach kids to coach each other in their reading. But there's just some sentence stems here, what they can say, that's in there. The components of a mini lesson, of course, are in there, but you might want to teach your kids. There's some little graphics for that. Of course, there's that one. And then this one I think is really important. It might even be something we want to make as a poster for every classroom. It's readers read more and more, growing stronger every day. And you show them that even though they're reading, I know we had some conversation about reading, their goal is to read for 45 minutes and have conversations. And we're trying to make them stronger readers. And I think they kind of make it be where it's kind of like and almost like athletic type stuff, to where they're getting stronger. They're becoming stronger readers. So maybe they're starting at 10 minutes, but then they're going to go to 25 and they're going to keep stepping up so that eventually they're strong readers when they take the test or at the end of the year. So all that stuff is also in there. And then there's a lot of more things. There's some like when you come to the meeting area. So if you're teaching your children what you want, working toward goal charts. There's some ideas for small group possibilities, ways you can do that. So there's lots of materials in there and then there's also a way for you to plan interactive read aloud. So let's say that what you notice your kids aren't getting something from a session, it gives you some ideas on plans. It gives them some ideas on how partners can talk to each other. So it just has got a lot of interesting things in there. So if you do not have the Heinemann account with all the materials for the reading units of study, please come and see me so we can do that.